What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and here we are with our weekly view of the biggest movers and shakers on TCG Player. And this, every single week, I kid you not, every single week I have so much fun with this list. I never know what's going to be on it. We have seen cards that are 20 years old. We've seen Ultra Modern on here. We have seen literally everything in between, and this week is no different. We don't have anything from the way back machine on here, but we've got some Sun and Moon on here. We've got some Sword and Shield on here. We've got some really cool Scarlet and Violet, and we've got a card that wasn't even on my radar from a set that I'm not a huge fan of, but guess what? You all must be, because the price is popping off and it made it on this list. So listen, as I said, we do this every single week. We have a ton of fun with it. So if that's up your alley and you get through this video and you think it was quality, hit that thumbs up button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, hey, listen, I got a small channel, so if you really enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. Any of those three small things go a long way in helping me out, and I truly appreciate it. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump right into it, because the first card, I've already beat the dead horse on this. I did a huge video on this card on Friday, and we really compared it, I mean, all the way to the nth degree to the Moonbryon from Sword and Shield. And that's because, as you can see in the price graph down below here, this is a $300 card that has been out for a total of 3 months, and there has been no Pokemon pop and flop. It has just come up and gone up and to the right. So it was an interesting comparison. I think that there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with this Greninja card. And again, you know, in this channel, my goal is to always take lessons from the past and apply them to the present to give us some idea of what might happen in the future. We never know for sure, but it certainly is nice to know when we're making big decisions, like looking at a $300 Ultra Modern card, you know, to have some kind of data to support us from the past. So that video was super fun. This card is absolutely still popping off, as you can tell by coming up here on the biggest movers and shakers list on TCG Player. And as I said, we do this every single week, and this is the first time the Greninja has been on here, so it must be having no signs of slowing down. Super excited. I'm also, just as a personal note, I'm really excited that there's a card like this in the hobby right now. I think it shows that everybody's really excited. Everybody's super bullish. I think the Scarlet Violet era has a lot of momentum behind it, and I do think we have some awesome sets coming up further into the future. So kudos to you, Pokemon, for giving a great follow-up to the Sword and Shield era. Now, the next card is not Sword and Shield, it is not Scarlet and Violet, and matter of fact, this isn't even the card on the list that we're going to talk about in just a minute, but I did want to highlight this one, because if you watch my channel, you know that every single month I do a video on how the top 20 singles cards and the booster boxes from each era moves month over month. So I look at the top 20 singles cards from every set in the Sword and Shield era, the Scarlet and Violet era, the Sun and Moon era, the X and Y era, and we have been graphing it out for a long time. Now, what might be interesting to you to know is that the Sun and Moon era, has really been directionally flat from the beginning of the year. While we have seen Sword and Shield go up and down and all over the place, and we've seen a lot of XY cards getting hot, right, with the Mega Evolutions popping off, Sun and Moon has just been kind of quietly sitting off to the side, watching Big Brother and Little Sister do their thing, and the cards have been really flat. And this was a card that we had talked about earlier on in that video series that said, hey, listen, it is finding a really solid support line. We think it has some opportunity for growth. Obviously, it's from Cosmic Eclipse. Cosmic Eclipse is just an incredible set towards the end of Sun and Moon. So this was a card that we've talked about. And even though this isn't the card that's on the list this week, guess what is? The secret variant of it, of course. We got Lunala, we got Lily. Like, what an awesome card this is. And, you know, just like we saw in the last price graph, you know, this card has been relatively flat for most of the year, although it has been coming down. And we see a big spike here over the last couple weeks. Now, I will say that sometimes on TCG Player, we're all aware of it. When we see big spikes like this, it is because somebody has just decided, hey, I kind of want to corner the market here. I'm going to buy all of these cards and then repost them at a higher price. So we will have to see what truly happens to this card in the long run, but I will tell you this. I think this card is an absolute stunner. I think the full art non-rainbow variant is a stunner. I have heard rumors that we're going to have Lily back in the Scarlet and Violet era, and if we do, I think all of Lily's cards are going to do really well. So anyways, a whole lot of momentum, a whole lot of excitement, and it's really cool for me to see cards like this on the list, because listen, we don't talk about stuff like this all the time, and that is one of the reasons doing this video series every single week brings me so much joy, and as you can tell, I get really fired up to talk about it. Now, another card that actually surprised me, to to be on this list was the Lugia V from Silver Tempest, and Silver Tempest seems to be the set that just won't go away, okay? Like, it is still in stock on the Pokemon Center, which is really cool. And also, shout out to the Discord, because guess what? Fusion Strike popped back in stock earlier in this week, a couple days ago, and because they mentioned it in the PikaPikaPaPa Discord, I was able to go online, I was able to buy some. So who can beat buying Fusion Strike booster boxes at MSRP? Thank God, thankful for the Discord, you all rock. But this Lugia V right here, as I said, coming from Silver Tempest, followed the exact same path that we've seen a lot of these Sword and Shield alt arts do. Like, it went way up, and it has been working its way back down. But what was interesting to me, and one of the reasons it was on this list, is because even though it's been working its way back down, if you look at over the last week, it is actually starting to go up. It's actually up about $10 over the last week. So is this a trend that we will start to see? Is this something that will continue? Or are we going to see this Lugia V kind of break out and start to move back up while everybody else is still on the downswing? It's going to be really hard for me to buy into that as long as there is still Silver Tempest booster boxes available at the Pokemon Center. But who knows? This is what the data shows, and this is why we do the videos, because hey, take thoughts and feelings and throw them out the window. Data never lies. So again, this card has had a really strong week, going up $10 over the last 7 days. Super cool to see. Now, the next card on the list right here, our Charmeleon from 151, and another set that's got a lot going on about it, right? 151 is going to get a restock, reprint, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. I hear it's just going to be booster bundles and mini tins, so we'll have to see if that actually plays out. Matter of fact, I'm going to do some content on it because I have all kinds of thoughts about it. But this Charmeleon card right here has had a really strong, truly last month. Now, what we've seen a lot with these 151 cards is they end up with this narrow band. They have a ceiling and they have a floor, and they'll kind of bounce around behind that as time goes on. And as you can see, the ceiling of this card really was about, I don't know, $22, $23, and the floor was right around 18. And you can see from November all the way really until June, it stayed within that band. However, then in June, it dropped pretty significantly, but it has been working its way up ever since, kind of slow and steady, plodding along. But here it is all the way up at $25. That's up 35% versus where it started off. So nobody seems to be worried about the restock, at least as far as this card is concerned. And it's really exciting. I mean, I love 151. I just think there's some incredible art, and I love the fact that 151 brought a lot of people back into the hobby. We've had some really cool events like that, and I think it's awesome that this set, I think, will have a lot of collector interest, and I think it's going to hold a special place in collectors' hearts for quite a while. So excited to see this card getting some love, and again, it's just kind of sneaky on the sidelines, up to a one-year high, up at 35% versus where it started off. And the final card, the one that totally caught me off guard, the one that totally just I did not see coming, Horsey. Okay, so here we go from Shrouded Fables, a set that I don't think a lot of people, myself included, are overly excited about. But here he is, just freaking chilling on a piece of coral, leaning on his back, living his best life, and it did what we typically see. It went through the Pokemon pop and flop, but except it popped back up almost immediately after the flop. You see it came out at $15, immediately dropped down to $11, but then it snapped right back up. It's a $15 card. Now, is it going to be, you know, one of the cards from the Shrouded Fable set? Or Shrouded Fable cards going to retain any type of value whatsoever if the set is so unloved? I mean, we've seen a lot of sets in the past that can't seem to get traction, and all of the cards seem to suffer from it. So I don't know, but I did think it was really cool that TCG Player called out good old Horsey here from Shrouded Fables and said, hey, listen, even though the set is brand new, even though the card is brand new, it has gotten a lot of love when it hit that $11 price point and has seen a ton of support at $15. Again, just like with a lot of these, we'll have to monitor and see how they move. I'm really interested to see if that Lugia can continue to go up or at least hold on to its partial gains. I'm interested to see what happens to that Charmeleon card, right, when we get this little restock from 151. And then Horsey and really Shrouded Fables as a whole. I'm excited to see what happens to these cards, to see if they continue to come under pressure or if for whatever reason they start to find a little traction further down the road. So hey, that's it. Those are the 5 cards this week. Again, I love this list because it's crazy diverse, awesome artwork, awesome cards, and I hope you enjoy it too. And if you do, hit that subscribe button so you can catch this next week. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. And if you have questions or comments, drop them down below. I appreciate you more than I can say. I hope you have an epic one, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.